So to go with the GTS topics, before that, I worked for projects like I worked till now in three MNC companies. I worked for order related billing. I worked for machines related Johnson Control Hitachi clients. I worked for advanced risk machines. I even worked for the telecommunication Nokia client as well. Uh, where I have utilized my skills both SAP SD and GTS. So comparative to SAP SD, GTS is not that vast subject. It is basically very interesting. If you have a will to learn it, it will be like you will feel very interested to know, because the business process you need to know and you just need to implement it in the SAP. So I'm a certified consultant. I'm certified in SAP SD. So GTS did not yet release the certification from the SAP. So I performed GTS from the Udemy certificate, and I performed an internal certificates in my company as well. Okay. So before going this, okay, then we'll discuss about what is GTS, and what is the latest version, and what are the very important topics in GTS. We'll discuss. Okay, I'm now starting with the GTS session. Okay, so what is GTS? GTS meaning Global Trade Services. Global Trade Services. You can understand with this terminology, global trade services. Global means completely the world around. Trading. What is meant by trading? Trading is an exchanging of, it's a trading, a business process happening between individuals or a company for a profit gain. For example, I'm a so and so company. I'm a so and so person. I'm working for an MNC company. I'm an XYZ person and working for an MNC company. So I work for them and I receive the salary. I receive the salary from them for the work I perform. The services for the services I perform, I get my salary. So there is a trading happening between two resources, between companies, between resources. So this is called as a trading process, an exchange of goods and services between two companies or two individuals. It is called as trading. So GTS is nothing but SAP. GTS is nothing but Global Trade Services. So Global Trade Services was introduced in the year 2001. Initially, 2001, they started with the version as GTS 2.7, GTS 2.7, 3.0, 5.0, 7.0, and so on. And the current version of SAP GTS is GTS 11.0. Okay. And now SAP, the R&D, research and development team is very rigorously working to make sure they do it as GTS EOH. So what is GTS EOH? Is GTS edition on HANA. So if you're an SAP consultant, you would have already known. Initially in SAP, we used to utilize ECC. Now we have transformed everything and made it as SAP S4 HANA Fiori apps. So similarly, now the GTS version is 11.0, the current version. The upgradation is happening to GTS EOH edition on HANA. Yeah. So this is about the introduction of GTS. So GTS. A few basic topics to tell you: the introduction, master data transfer, RFC connection. What is this? Glimpse of compliance management, customs management, and risk management. So these are the few of the modules I'll tell you. So why did SAP introduce GTS? The reason is basically in global trade services in GTS we have uh, four modules. One is compliance management, compliance management. Another is customs management, customs management. The third one is risk management, and the fourth one is electronic compliance reporting. Compliance reporting. So these are the four modules. So what is GTS? If you want to know, you need to know about. If you know these four modules, then you are an expert in GTS. You need to know end-to-end configuration, what how the processes are taking place, everything to understand. The GTS consists of these four strong modules: compliance, customs, risk, and electronic compliance reporting. So these reporting purpose you can ignore, because there's something sort of reporting. When for an audit purpose you want to send the reports to business or any the functional consultants. So most of the clients utilize the above three modules. Only for the reporting purpose only they utilize this electronic compliance reporting. And again, it's a client decision, it's a business call, it's a business decision how they want it. It's a consultant, it's an interaction, it's an individual decision between the consultant and the client how they want to take the reporting purpose. So the above first three modules uh, are the very much utmost important: compliance, customs, and risk management. Okay. And one more thing I want to tell you over here is a GTS is a stand-alone system. Stand-alone system. So what is a stand-alone system? I'll tell you one thing. S4 HANA. Let me tell. I'm working for a so and so business called as Mind Magics is my business. Mind Magics is my business. So Mind Magics wants to buy a GTS server. They want to implement GTS in their system. So what happens? They need to buy. Initially, they need to buy. Let me tell. They are handling some so and so business. They want SAP software to be installed. So what happened? Mind Magics initially they'll take an SAP server box. In SAP server box, let us tell the modules it consists of is SAP SD, SAP MM, SAP FICO, etc. So and so. So they pay some let me tell they pay some 50 lakh INR. Just I'm giving a rough figure. They pay some 50 lakh INR. But for SAP GTS system does not comes in the server box. It is a separate standalone system. In case Mind Magic's business want to implement GTS as a standalone, as a different part, because not all clients will not utilize GTS. Only some only out of 100, like 30 or 40 clients will utilize GTS. Not It's not mandatory for all the clients as GTS. So as Mind Magics wants to desperately implement GTS, so what they'll do, the latest till GTS costs around 20 lakhs or something. So they need to buy this GTS as a separate server box. So that is, it is called a standalone system. And this GTS system is connected to different systems. Like let me tell, the GTS system is connected to SAP SD system. uh, we are now discussing upon SAP GTS system. SAP SD also in a SAP module. But please remember, this is very, very important time point. In any interview or anywhere, they'll ask you, this is a basic question. Can SAP GTS system, can it be interface? I mean, can it be aligned with any other non-SAP systems? The answer is yes. So SAP GTS system can also be interfaced with non-SAP systems as well. For example, it can be interfaced with Oracle, uh, DBMS, Oracle, DBMS, etc. Integration point. There is a point called integration point. So non-SAP systems also it can be integrated. So SAP GTS not only with SAP systems, it can be integrated with non-SAP systems as well. Okay. So the compliance management. So for example, I'm telling you with a generic terms, with a simple example, I'll tell you. So John is a person who is working from China in a company called as ARM Limited. So John is called a sanction party listing, sanction, or you can also tell us denied party listing. Denied party listing, okay. Embargo check is nothing but it is a country. License, legal control, country, license. ARM Limited is something called as license. So I'll tell you how. For example, John is performing a business with Mind Magics. Okay, is performing a business with Mind Magic. So what happened? Um, uh, Mind Magics. John has placed an order stating he wants thousand laptops from Mind Magics. Let us still Mind Magics is performing a laptops business. John has told, I want 1,000 laptops for the business.
So what happened? Mind Magics, though, let us tell John is from USA and Mind Magics is operating from India. Mind Magics is operating from India. Okay. So John is from USA. So this is what is happening. So this process is called as exporting process. So exporting means it's an international trading process because John is in US and we are from Mind Magics is from India. So the trading is happening internationally. So a sanctioned party listing or denied party listing. So what system will do? What Mind Magic's team will do? The SAP GTS initially a sales order will be created stating John needs 1,000 laptops. So this 1,000 laptops, John, this sales order number, let me tell the sales order number is some ABCD is a sales order number. The sales order will be sent to SAP GTS for the screening purpose. Screening. The reason why we want to know whether John is a terrorist, or John is a reliable person, or John has any criminal history, or whatever could be. John has done any fraud or scam. They want to check it. So for this purpose, Mind Magic is an SAP GTS team. They will perform a screening, and they came to know. No, John is a correct person. The background check has been. John is a reliable person. Then yeah, they are good to go. They will remove John from SPL list, SPL or DPL list. It is called DPL list. It means denied party list. Initially, John will be kept on hold until complete verification is completed. So after the verification is completed, then they will remove and they are good to go. Second one, for example, for some XYZ reasons, USA and for example, some XYZ reasons, though John is from US, okay, anyway, I told it as a China, so I'll make it as US because I don't want to confuse on this. So John is from US, and some for XYZ reason, for political reasons, or for any terrorist, any reasons, US and India do not have a good terms. It's a government decision. Let us tell India and US do not have good terms, and India and US do not want to perform any trading processes because of something, let it be a COVID or something or anything, because they have some political decisions or whatever could be. So what will happen? Let us tell in India country, US is marked as an embargoed list. So as government has banned US from external trading purpose, so what will happen? They will tell, please, we do not want to do any export trading process with USA. We do not want to send any goods to USA to join is what they. So what will happen as the country, USA is an embargoed country in India. So what will happen? The business will not go further because as I'm an Indian, I am working from India. I need to obey to the policies, rules, and regulations. So what government has decided, because I'm a citizen of India, because Mind Magics is something originated. The certification of origin is for Mind Magics is from India. They need to follow some customs, rules, and regulations of India. So in this scenario, the trade. So in this scenario, the country is considered. In case for some exceptional reasons you want to remove USA from the embargoed country, anytime the decision can take place. Today the political decisions are there. Tomorrow the decisions may vary or change. So nothing is always permanent. So in that scenario also, the country will be considered. And third one, ARM limited. So 1,000 laptops. Why does John want 1,000 laptops? Do we have any permit license for that? Is importing from India. Is asking for an import from India. We are exporting. So why does John want is any for laptops? That is fine, but some scenarios, some medicals, some gun materials. In that scenario, license is mandatory. See, I'm normal citizen of India. I'm a normal person. They don't allow me. They don't give me some AK-40 or some gun or some medications. Sometimes when we go to a medical shop, they don't give us medicines without the prescription, right? They ask compulsory for a mandatory prescription. In this scenario, the similar is the case for license as well. So they call it as a legal control. Legal control. In GTS terms, it is called as legal control license. Yeah. So this is about compliance management. The compliance management deals only with these three concepts. Yeah. And the next one is customs management. So customs management. So customs management means, I'll tell you, it is it's again simple here, export and import. So what will happen is customs management when best example you should have been seen already in social media. When Indian students they go to USA, they have some documentation process, right? They have some documentation process, right? So whatever could be the deportation documents and all those, they need to be. I mean, there will be some rules and regulations. And like let me tell, I'm an Indian and I want to go to abroad for studies or for my job. They have some customs procedures, right? At the airport level or somewhere, they will check this customs procedure. If everything is valid and up to mark, they'll make me in into the US. No, it is everything. They'll reject my visa or something. They will get me back to India. So these sort of scenarios will take place in the customs management. Yeah. Again, in risk management. So customs management will consist of export and import process. And risk management, again in risk management, we have three types: preference management, restitution, letter of credit process. Okay, so I'll tell you what is risk management in a simple terms. Like let me tell, John and I are performing a business, and somehow we were into that. I mean, we are performing the business. So what happened? John is performing business. John has ordered 1,000 laptops, and I am from India. I've sent to them. So what happened? There are some risks associated. After the laptops reach to John in US, John may not pay me the amount completely, or one of the risk associated. Second risk associated, after in transit, out of 1,000 laptops, only 900 are in proper state and 100 are damaged in the transit conditions due to shipping damaged in transit. So here also it will be a loss. It will be a loss to John. So I may not refund the money. I mean, I may not refund the money. I may escape from the reality or something. It may be a fraud or scam or these sort of scenarios. To avoid these risks, SAP has introduced this model called as risk management. So in risk management, there will be documentation will be available. So based on that, in case if everything is not going properly, they can take a legal action on the relevant person, or whatever could be, they could take an action based upon the documents. If anything injustice has happening between the exporter and importer, because it deals with crores of money, little not a small amount, so crores of money, there should not be any loss to the businesses. So in that scenario, they'll take a relevant action. That's okay. Next one, master data compliance classification, SPL screening, and practice test. Anyway, practice test also we can discuss in the later, like each and every topic. So if you practice, we can become perfect. Even I was a beginner. If I can do it, I personally feel everyone can do it. So RFC connection is not it's even though, but for the knowledge purpose, I'm ready to explain this one. And logistics group configuration, letter of credit process, these are the some additional topics, so based covered in the SAP GTS. But this, good to have knowledge on these processes. Though letter of credit they don't utilize in much of the clients, but advisable to always learn, because knowledge is always an asset. Riyadh, for similarly to make my India trip in India, that was a Sira which was in Riyadh, Dubai. So they used to deal with this ticketing purpose. The other one is Johnson Control Hitachi. Refrigerations was almost everyone manufacturing the products, the chillers, refrigerators, these sort of uh, client I work for. So JC, I think most of all of us know. And now current one is ARM, means it is something we utilized at Netflix subscriptions. So based on that, student a license will be given, the software will be given to learn. So to learn sort of the subscription valid 2 days. So renewal process, returns, termination, these sort of process are dealing with ARM. Yeah. and advisable to do a certification, because in present it's always a value added point for a certificate. So you will be unique in the market if you're a certified consultant. So it is advisable to always perform a certification. I personally have performed certification, so I encourage everyone to perform a certification, so you can also assess yourself and you can know where do you stand in the market. So other details, system requirements. When you are handling with an online class, you need to have this CPU 4 cores, this memory, this hard disk, Microsoft Windows 7 and above. So on the software access, anyway, Mind Magics will provide it. So high speed internet and desktop or laptop, every personal is very important, because there will not be any discrepancies in the voice or anything. It will be a smooth flow. So these are some of the basic questions. SAP S4 HANA GTS, which accesses previous system. The answer is S4 HANA system. So SAP GTS, in which type, as already said in the class, is a standalone application. And what is the latest version of GTS? It is 11.0 version. The plugin code is PLL and SLL underscore PI is a plugin code which connects between SAP S4 HANA and GTS. So SAP GTS is a component of which business unit is? It's a governance, risk and compliance. So these are the governance, risk and compliance. GRC, they also call governance, risk and compliance. These are some of the expertise questions when you go into the subject, when you deeply involved, so you can be able to answer all these as well. What is meant by broker filing documents applicable for both compliance, and how to classify products in mass. So these are some expertise questions.